Boys, how's it going? This is a fabulous time to be alive because I am still making however many videos I can be bothered making until I retire. So this is probably one of the top 3 most fun builds I have had a chance to really mess about with and play lately, and I really wanted to spend a bit more time on this one, and I hope you guys enjoy it, because it's really cool. Now, you probably saw in the recent patch, right, 2.7 was, yeah, not that big. Everyone's been talking, everybody has been talking about the ball cathos change with removing knockback, which is an absolute godsend, thank you. But the main real highlight is the next hit delay changes. So I'm not too super familiar with remembering all of that shit, but basically, you know, you can use a few more skills in mainly multiplayer games or playing with friends, and you're not going to limit and cap your friend's damage by applying next hit delay. So its next hit delay is now centered to the skill and it's not global. So if I'm running around as a Singer Barb and annoying everybody's ears, I'm not also reducing the damage of the Novasorks that are in my pub game, for example. So that made me think, like, how can we kind of mess with that? Is there something here that my little baby monkey brain is not picking up on? And I found one thing that could be kind of fun to test, and it turns out that it's freaking amazing, in my opinion. So that was Destruction. Now, this is one of those super high-end, expensive rune words that is just beaten out by a lot of cheaper variants. So it's like, why would you spend Vexlo, Burr, Jarko? It's 4 fucking high runes, my guy. And it's ridiculous. Like, the stats are really cool, like, but prior to this next hit delay fix, I'll show you guys later on how this functions, but, you know, prior to 2.7, it's kind of whack. You know, like, it looks pretty, it's kind of whack. You might see it on a Kicksin just to get all those procs off, but the rest of the stats are like, kind of they're okay. But I wanted to see how well I can get both of these to function, so I'm chucking both of them on, focusing entirely on having as much damage, as much kind of survivability and coverage with this to farm everything, focusing entirely on amping my CCC skills that are on here. So that is your Volcano, you've got your Molten Boulder, which explodes across the screen, you have 30% level 22 Nova, which is going to be pinging about. Both of these have Ignore Target Defense, a decent chunk of magic damage, which is okay. It's not bad, but I mean, it gives you a bit of guaranteed damage. Deadly Strike, Prevent Monster Heal, Dexterity, Crushing Blow, handy stats that do end up that are a little bit underestimated upon, like, first glance, right? Because this is one of those rune words that has been shelved for so long. So I'll leave some, what do you call it, jibber jabber clicky things down below. You guys can click through to the gameplay. I don't give a fuck, honestly. But I like rambling, so I'm going to do that the same as before. Now, stats, skills, gear, we'll see how your mama's doing. You know how it goes, boys, yeah? So, this is my 99 barb. I made this shit offline. So my strength is decent to wear whatever I kind of need, yeah? Now, with this build, I want to put my excess points into strength to amp up my damage output. So this opens up some different base opportunities for your Enigma. If you want to put it on a wire fleece to look like a bit of a Chad like me, then fucking go for it, mate. If you want to go for something else like a full plate mail, then you can do that as well and look like an absolute Chad. Fucking go for it, mate. Okay? So I've got Dexterity has to be over 136. That is just for your 2 Destruction phase blades. Bingo bongo. Yeah? Vitality is 355. With Bad Lords and everything maxed up, you see when we pump that shit, we're basically at 5,000 life, which is more than enough in my opinion. I could probably take more points out of here and put more into strength just for more damage. But basically, I wouldn't go higher than like 4800 life. I think that's a little unnecessary, because this build is quite high survivability, and I'll talk about that a little bit further on. Energy, no one really cares, right? Resistances are pretty easy on. I could make some, you know, slight changes here and there to cap out the cold res, but I found that it never was something that really, you know, that was something I needed to do. I don't really care. So looking at my war cries first, right? 1.1 is over here to find item. I just did this just for the sake of the video, really. I haven't really built this to farm specifically with. I might build this on non-ladder further and really dive into a magic find variant of it, but that's just for the sake of the build. Mainly, we want 1.1s down here, maxing out battle orders, and then 1 into Warcry, which we are getting from Metamorphosis. So if you saw my last video, boys, we're making Metamorph in this helm so we can get Warcry, we can save up plus skills in our tree there, and also whatever other bonuses we can get, that being 3 to battle orders, yeah? So we'll touch on that later. So 1 point, 1 point, so we're saving 2 points there. Why the hell not, boys, right? Combat Masteries, 1 wonders, maxing Blade Mastery, because we have Phase Blades. Down here, we are maxing some combat skills. This is slightly different. Somebody might have a different take on this, but from testing, I found this to be slightly more consistent in terms of damage output. So I'm keen to see what you guys think. Now, I have Double Swing maxed out. I have Bash maxed out to max out my double swing damage, and I have Frenzy maxed out. Now I know there's other synergies that I can max for Frenzy, which is going to give me higher end single target damage, but because I'm focusing on really proccing all my chance to cast skills, I want to get my stacks of Frenzy up as high as I can, as fast as I can, dealing decent damage. That's why I maxed it. But I want to have Double Swing as my main sink of all my hits, so that's going to be double hitting, and that's going to be proccing a lot. So I want to make sure my damage is high for that shit. That was a poor burp, I'm sorry boys, I'll make a decent one next time. So get Frenzy up, smack Double Swing, proc all the shit for the boys and girls. Easy peasy. So let's talk about the gear a bit more. Now, both of the destructions, this is going to give us 46% level 12 Volcano on striking, 10% level 23 Molten Boulder on striking. Now Molten Boulder, it's very entertaining when that procs, it pushes right through and then knocks boys and explodes. Oh, I love it, it's so satisfying. 30% chance to cast level 22 Nova on strike, and then you've got Meteor when you die, but honestly, you never fucking die with this build. Ignore target defense is amazing, so it means we just need to make sure we have enough attack rating and enough stats so we can really nuke down the bosses, but in terms of elites and everything, we don't really have a problem, boys. You've got mana stolen per hit on each of these, so we have 14% just from the weapons itself, 40 crushing blow, 40 deadly strike, 20 dexterity. It's bloody brilliant. So I've chosen the helmet here, as I said. I like the access this gives to the skill tree, so I can have Warcry, I can save some skill points, I can get extra battle orders, or even something else on here if I want to go for like Blade Mastery, you know? You can use different options here, but I like it because it's close, it's a close competitor to G-Face, it gives a lot of utility, and on Switch, I'm going to be using this combo of a Beast, so I can switch into Werebear, I can hit once, I can get 25 attack speed, 20 physical damage reduced. So that is going to amp up my survivability when I'm teleporting directly into packs with Frenzy, using Warcry, and then I'm going to be smacking boys at a higher base attack speed, so I'm going to be dishing out these chance to cast skills a lot quicker than usual if I didn't have that 25. Now I'm not saying this is super needed for this build, but I really like how it plays and I really want to keep it in. So if you guys have some other variants that you think might be better or worth testing in this combo, let me know, but that's what I like at the moment. High Lord's Wrath, more attack speed, plus skills, deadly strike, bit of lightning res. I love that. I mean, I could switch it out for maybe a 220 or something like that, but I feel like this is very fitting, and I felt like I needed the deadly strike too. Now, Enigma, as I showed, you guys can switch it out to kind of whatever you like, because I'm putting excess points into strength, right? So you can choose your base. We don't feel like we need to chuck in like a mage play Enigma. Gloves, I've had a few options with gloves, really. The main one that you're probably going to have is this, Laying of Hands, because damage to demons is so just, unbeatable, really. Unless you're not really versing demons and you're versing something else, then you'd probably want to go for something like this, I would say. So you can get crafted gloves, get some type of res, get some attack speed and some crushing blow, and then you're kind of good to go, boys. You could even go for like steel rends, get some damage, get some ED, doesn't matter, but in the most cases, we're going to be sitting with Laying of Hands. That's not really going to change for the most part. Rings, we have some extra options because we have Cannot Be Frozen given by the Metamorphosis, which is another reason I like to use it. So now we don't have to worry about having one of these just locked in permanently with Ravenfrost. We can get some ridiculous rings if you want to get those. If you want to have more stuff that kind of procs all about, you can go for a Wisp Projector. You can also go for a Carrion Wind. Carrion Wind is okay. The Twister does stun a little bit. It's more of an interrupt rather than a stun. I feel like when you say stun, it lasts for a longer period of time. It just kind of interrupts attack animations for a split second, and then they're back in because it's not very long. It's kind of fun to use. Wisp Projector is kind of cool. It deals pretty much the same amount of damage-ish as one of the Novas does on strike, but it's only in a straight line, and I feel like it's more beneficial getting stats from other things. But I would rather running 2 Wisp Projectors than going for like Carrion Wind or something. But in terms of stats and to, fine-tune the build, I've got these ones on for now. Arachnid Mesh, that's going to give us the 20 FCR, which we need, so we're teleporting around at a somewhat, tolerable pace, and then Slow's target is kind of funky. We have Gore Riders 2, which fits in very nicely. Now, on Switch, I did show I've just got my Beast, so I can switch into my Werebear, so I can proc my Metamorphosis, my Grant Mark of the Bear, right? And then I've got my Hodo. So +3 on Switch for all of my, Warcry needs, so they're a little bit higher. And then we're kind of good to go, boys. Now, in terms of all my little Grand Charms and things, I've got Torch and Eyeless. I'm not sure if this is really needed, the Bone Break, but I do kind of like it, because I want to make sure that everything that is being hit by chance to cast shit that's on the screen, and there's a lot of stuff on the screen, and not everything is going to be hit by Decrepify, which is from my Reaper's Toll Mercenary. I feel comfortable having this on, and I don't feel like it's much of a loss at all, because minus 10%, right, that is going to be negated quite a lot by not only our Enigma, but then we have this buff. So it's kind of, I feel like it's free, more consistent damage. The rest of these are all damage, life is attack rating, fast hit recovery, easy peasy, melee stuff. On our Mercenary, we have Might for more physical damage, obviously. We have Reaper's Toll with a Treachery and a G-Face with attack speed for highest attack speed base output, so we can get the best consistent layout of Decrepify. That is the whole goal, boys. So Reaper's Toll with a Shell, you can get a 1540. Treachery, attack speed, fade is great. And then your G-Face for more crushing blow because he's attacking so fast. That's all we really care about. He stays alive with the Leech from Reaper's Toll. He gives everything Decrepify. We're good to go, boys. That is kind of how it is. Let's go show you a little bit of how this kind of functions, yeah? I will leave a little bit of gameplay at the end just to show you, some highlights of other places that I show. But yeah, let's dive right in, right? What I like about having the Beast on Switch with this is when you switch, one hit needs to land, and then you're good to go. That's it. Only one hit, boys. Absolutely great. Once we get our Frenzy up, we really are good to go, honestly. Very handy. Some people might not really like the Warcry, but I love the utility of it. Sometimes using Frenzy in any case, it's just there's a lot going on the screen, and if you just pop one Warcry, it interrupts all the shit that's going on. It makes it just so easy to clear through. Let's go to Willstone Keep, because that can be crazy sometimes. I found that Warcry was quite useful when I was playing in here. Here we go, boys. Get your Frenzy stacks up. Slap around with our double swing. Shit goes pretty hard. Oh, this is good. Give me some of that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know what's really good about this build combo, too, is if you don't like destruction, take them off, put anything else in. Like, seriously, take the 2 destructions off this build, put any other sword that you want on, and you're good to go. That's what I love about this. So take this as a template, boys. You can build your own weird variants here. Put on 2 Crescent Moons, put on 2 Wisps, and then just teleport around, smacking everything with lightning. Do that. Maybe I'll make a build of that. I don't know. It's the same thing. It's the same. Because everything here is melee, you can switch, right? That's going to buff up attack speed and melee for Metamorph. This is here for prep. Everything else is ED, and then you're bloody teleporting with Enigma. Mercenary is all set up for might and melee. Reaper's Toll, Decrepify. Destruction. There we go, boys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm going to leave some more, I don't know, a little montage at the end for you boys, just to show some different places and whatnot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one, because this is has been very fun to test, and I don't know. I'm glad we got some excuse to make a build from this patch 2.7. So I'll see you boys.